love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just look up. Don't be math. When I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just look up.
Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. Lots to talk about today. Quite an exciting day, really. I mean, at least from the price point, from the price action standpoint. JP didn't say anything too surprising. Don't mind inflation, although you are paying that much more and getting 20% less of a product. That's the best case scenario. Oh, that's just fine. Oh, just ignore that. This is gonna be fine. QE, don't worry about that. Printer go. At this point, it's like literally printer go trash. At this point, nothing substantial. Again, the bottom line really is the price action, is the direction of where the market is leaning towards, I would say, more than anything else. By the way, hello, good evening to everyone. Sorry for not saying hello right away. Howdy, hello, Blackberry, Leo, Johnny, KC, Tiny Bug, Mikey, and Johnny. So don't forget, everyone, to smash the like. Absolutely, slam it, kill it, do whatever you need to. Throw the computer out of the window, do all that beautiful stuff. Subscribe, ring the bell. Move it to everything, all that beautiful stuff. So as you can see on the screen, X marks the spot. That's kind of where I've assessed we're gonna end up the day at. Not that far, not exactly there yet. On the other hand, I was assessing, as you can see, closer to the 5,200. We are still about $40 away. We were as close as $29, $30 away, 27, whatever you want to call it. Hello, Pools. Good to see you here as well. Hello to everybody who's there quiet behind the scenes as well. Of course, welcome and hello. So from the price action standpoint, we actually had a significantly negative day, and I've warned this sort of price action is coming, and I warned that it does not seem like we will be able to close the entirety of the gap. Below and behold, surprise, surprise, I was right again. But then again, people tend to attribute this to me. It's just sort of, well, to some extent, if you really feel like it, it's just what the market was saying, and I was just reading it and showing it to you as we were going. So no big surprise. Hello, Gene. Hello, brother. Good to see you. So from the standpoint of price action, we've opened up with a gap that we kind of knew about yesterday, moved in a little bit. We're not able to finalize and close. Broke down lower and lower throughout the day, staying and remaining within the medium range channel. At least I would call it medium range, because we now have 3 channels. There's the 20, the 100, the 500. We have many channels on the screen. All of them matter, and all of them are pointing downwards, as you can see, and they are kind of gradually sort of showing the steepening of the process, right? So 1 minute don't really matter. We know that. We skip over it normally. As you can see, we are already outside of the trend, which kind of unlikely, and given how we'll see the price action, sort of the momentum being structured out for the following end of the session. We have about 43 minutes left. Pardon me, still. I think we're going to retain the downwards pressure, as you can see on the 5 minutes, at least in the terms of the following, I would say, 20-ish minutes. It appears to be that it's going to be moving within the very same direction, still more downwards, so closer to that target of mine towards the end of the day, that 5200. It doesn't have to be. Again, I'm not looking for some flat number. It doesn't really matter. For all I care, I got it far more correct than I would get it wrong, even if it flips right now. Just kind of saying, to each their own how they measure these sort of performances. I would say that in my mind, I've done pretty well. 98% accurate so far. Again, the day is not over yet as well, but we're moving in that direction in my mind, 5200. So those who tell you that market action cannot be predicted just don't know how to do it. It's pretty simple. And those who do know how to do it, as you can see, as I keep on doing it on a daily basis. Now, what are we seeing on the front of, what is this? Why didn't you just like that? No need, thank you. We are on oversold territory, bearish dominant, at the edge of the channel. I would argue we probably coming to some form of a stop, at least temporarily. So don't forget, we've been moving sideways and now basically moving from a channel to another channel, and that transition is not always swift, but more so involves sort of several retests. Although I would argue that we've retested this area several times. I would say even 3 times to be more precise at this point in time. And I would argue that we're far more likely to continue the breakdown as we're testing that median, maybe continue along the median of the longer duration channel that, as you can see, coming from above right there, as we've been breaking down all along. And all this rally was, just like I've mentioned, was just a temporary corrective movement within the framework of the larger channel. As you can see, we've already established the 4,800 lows that I've spoke about a month ago or several weeks, and warned that these levels are coming, that we're rolling down that direction. We are stuck inside of an avalanche and just kind of rolling with it. So that was the direction, not a big surprise, a bit earlier than expected. But when the market does establish these sort of levels prior, in advance, when we're still moving downwards, that's actually a good sign for us, the bears, those who are holding SQQs and such. And it's far more likely for us to establish and conquer, basically the second time around, to conquer any particular level, at least within the short range time. It's easier. And so what we've done here, we kind of, nailed the peg, went back down, retracing, reconfirming, retesting, going back to that level that we've pegged down earlier, and maybe even lower, right? Now, because we have more space to go as the channel is descending still. Pardon me for my weird wheeziness and cough. I still am not 100% all recovered, but I'm close. I'm almost there. I'm almost. No, 99%, I swear. I really am making any effort and all efforts to get better, although the recent several days were very, very tiring. In fact, today Those who don't know, we have meetings in the community. If it's members meetings, if it's more of the sort of academy oriented meetings, and if it's more of the just kind of everyone, so everybody can join and listen and participate. In fact, yesterday we had a very interesting one that we even brought some of our members to speak in the live right here. You can watch it yesterday. We'll see. Maybe we'll do something similar today. We'll see. But anyway, that's the Discord. As you can see, that is where I announce always when I go live, so don't miss anything. The members, of course, get members exclusives that no one other than the Discord and will subsequently Patreon members do get to watch. We have currently 100 plus members, not really counting. Blah, 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 blah. We have the various channels, the open forum, where we hang out on a daily basis. And we watched today, we had a watch party. We were watching JP speak all together. We discussed it a little bit, although there was not much to discuss as we were watching the price action simultaneously, kind of, discussing in the chat a little bit the back and forth. We also have, of course, an active chat to the various channels, like the open forum has a chat. Of course, testimonials from my academy, highly recommended coming in and checking out why the 1-1 Academy is highly recommended. If you don't want to be dependent on anyone, honestly, it's just that simple, and be able to do what you see me doing on a daily basis and predict the price action and being at ease and calm about what's going on, because I understand where we're moving towards. So if you want to learn that, join the community. Ask me about the 1-1 Academy. I currently have only 2 spots available. We had 3. 1 was already taken. Don't miss out. The more you wait, the less time frames you'll have to be able to sort of pick out of your schedule, right? Pardon me again. Of course, I show my positions. I keep everybody up to date. Charting 101, where we talk about various strategies and approaches, whatnot. The Academy members area, where we have also the members meetings where we archive them, although we're supposed to have another one today, but instead I think what we're going to have is an all-out meeting for everyone, and then we also had one more here on this side, and that kind of effed up. Then we've not had it recorded. This one, I'm still trying to get this whole thing under wraps and under control. And this one actually screwed up. We had just the audio, not the video. But this time around, don't worry, boys and girls. I'll make sure we have it all. Or at least I'll try to. Definitely join in. Ask me if you want to, if you can't join in right away and just want to ask from the outside about the 1-1 Academy. This is where you do it. Open a support ticket here, and then we can do the Q&A and get you on board if you're interested. If not, it's your choice. Now, don't forget, by the way, it's only 2 spots right now, and once they're taken, the academy is going to be locked probably for at least a couple of months, at least. So it appears right now, because I'm completely and utterly booked, basically. So don't miss out on that one. Pardon me. Price action continuing downwards, as we can see, kind of as expected, as we said, getting closer to that 51.94 area. No big surprises right there. Let's go. I think I skipped over too far. Went too far. All right, so what was that? Let's do 1 hour. I think that's where we were. Here it is, talking about the channel where we were about to move towards the median. I think the emphasis of how we're running out of momentum and we're bearish on the 1 hour as well. 4 hours is just becoming bearish, which is also very interesting, since we're not starting from the top of the channel, we're starting from the median, in fact right below the median, and we're already becoming bearish. This is very indicative of the price action to continue moving towards that 4900. Pardon me. We still have potentially a channel that's being established right now, so temporarily we'll have to break that 5000 area, which on its own has a 5,000 barrier at 5,000 flat psychological level, as some of you know. Once this is ready to break and move towards the 50, of course, things will look a lot more bearish and far quicker, which plays into the daily narrative very neatly, as we're about to cross over in overbought territory, become more bearish, and start sliding downwards. Now, why do we think that is the case? Because remember, we're still in oversold territory. And as I warned in the first place, people were worried whether we can still rally up, this and that. And there was a chance. In fact, one of our members is kind of, still looking for that rally and needs some of it to happen. And even when turning to me, I had to be completely honest and accurate about things, pardon me, that there is a very small chance of it playing out because, well, again, I have to be objective about the market price action that I'm seeing. But then again, you should not rely on this because this is not indicative of an actual bullish impulse, but rather this is more of a bearish behavior that we're going to have, because remember, it is still within the confines of oversold territory and barely able to scratch the 20 area if we're looking at 18.70 or 10.51. As you can imagine, that is very far off from that 20, not giving us even the tiniest relief off of that bearish, very strong downwards pressure. As you can imagine, the monthly did not change, looks exactly as it looked before. In fact, slowly opened up again. We had a bit of a moment there where we had a bit of a corrective price action right there. Then almost the entire candlestick was eaten back up. I would argue 80% of it was eaten back up all the way to that median channel to 5,043 area, as we already seen. The monthly adjusted a little bit and tightened up between the two forces. Now, as you can see, as we're seeing the downwards pressure that I was saying we will see throughout this month, and as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the month, we will see more of that bearish pressure. My expectation is still stands as it was, that we will finish the month roughly around 5,000, 4,800, 4,900, somewhere within that vicinity, closer to the bottom of the channel. Could be that we'll end up on 5,000 flat. There are various forces and reasons to why. Then again, it doesn't really change the overall picture, because even if not this month, then that means next month, the very next month, where it does accelerate even further on, moving closer to oversold territory, will move downwards even faster. And so, as you can imagine, it will be far more painful very, very quickly, right? So what people don't realize that what we've seen so far, and they assess, oh, that's it, that's like code, just like, like then, if you will, right? We're going to drop to the bottom of that channel and everything will be fine. No, that's not the case this time around. This time around, the case is very, very different. You need to understand, this time around, we're going for a more prolonged movement that is basically a part of a larger cycle. As you can see, we were getting ready towards it. There's a big difference between the location where we are in that cycle, and now we're coming to an end of a very, very prolonged cycle, which also has 3 times the downwards cyclical limbs, if that makes any sense. I believe some of you understand it better, but that's exactly why I highly recommend you all join the One-on-One Academy, where I'll teach you exactly what that means, what in the market shows us that, how can we read it, be more certain. And then, unlike the rest of the market, I think my community today was bored to death. Everybody was basically going bananas and apeshit crazy because the market is doing what it's doing, while my community was yawning, basically, right? Simply because we were all ready for this. And if you're not sure, you can watch the previous lives, the videos. Sadly, you cannot know because we have many member exclusive videos that I do exclusively just for my community, and only they get to see them. It's not that you guys get to see it later. No, you guys don't get to see it. It's only for the community. It is what it is. People who pay get more. Don't like it? That's life. Now, I wasn't bored this morning. Well, we were having fun in the community, right, Casey? We were having a hangout, we were having a blast. So that is a bit different, I would say. But then again, you know what I mean. You were more so bored in that sense. Yeah, you were, plus you do your trades and stuff. So, but we're talking that sense of how panicky everybody, all the community probably were, but while we were very calm and knew this sort of price action was expected. I hope you understand. Of course, you know that's what I mean. Running out of green ink in the printer. Was there any? Was there any? Oh, I mean, you mean that? Right. There's so many ways to interpret that particular that sentence. So, market crash? No way! With Trump to the moon, next level. That was a next level comment. Next level, right there. Next level comment. I was bored by the market this morning. Then, applauding in the afternoon. No, why? I mean, we look. It's not. we have to understand that what I define, I'll just simply say that what I define as an interesting market is more so the actual price action and the movement in a distinct direction and establishing something um, substantial, and even if repeating particular levels from before, it does not the volatility what makes it interesting, the progression, the actual progression, and the confident establishment of these checkpoints is what reaffirms the thesis, and in my mind makes this day into something. Because volatility we have every other day, because seeing some of these levels, we've already seen these and even lower. But the more confident, slow, more gradual descent gives me a lot more of that sort of confidence about the stable movement to the downside, rather than these impulsive, rapid rallies and breakdowns and crashes, and that we have to correct on every other day and end up spending entire weeks on doing nothing altogether, which I was afraid this week will be spent potentially on as well. Of course, we still have we don't have Friday, but we do have Thursday, right? And so potentially we will still see some corrective movement to the upside, maybe retest towards the 50, 52.50, 52.60, 80 maybe. It doesn't seem like we can even make it properly to 53 at this time. So, but then again, we're not hyper focused on the short-term cycle or trend or whatever you want to call it, the movement we're going to be having within the following sessions, but more so what this means for the larger cycle, the cycle that we're seeing on the monthly chart, the trends that we've been seeing sort of, panning out and turning around for the past 3-4 months. So these structures are pointing further downwards and with more pressure with every day, of course. People being tempted by the movement to the upside, whether it's for trading purposes, whether it's for maybe DCAing purposes, sort of over the long run. I think both are not a good idea at this time, at least in my opinion. Of course, just an opinion. You do you. This is not financial advice, sort of thing. Very risky, very volatile, and I would say stay the course. The trend is your friend. It's pretty simple, pretty evident. Just kind of follow that direction, and you see you cannot miss, whether we're looking at the individual assets, pardon me, whether we're looking at the individual assets, whether we're looking at the indices, whether we're looking at the inverse derivatives. It doesn't really matter where you're looking at. Gold is surprising. Gold is just stupid bonkers, and I would say at this rate we might be hitting 35.93.40 right there, which is just insane. Where is Brad? Brad, where the hell are you? Brad. I hope you're ready with all your gold, man, because this is freaking risky. I'm just gonna say, this is really high, out of proportion. Just the same way. Remember, the same way we said this sort of thing about the S&P and eventually ended up being right. Although the market, as we say, can stay irrational longer than we can stay solvent, it doesn't mean jack shit. You shouldn't be staying in a market that you've made. At least you should screw that. You shouldn't do anything. You should do what you think is right. But mathematically speaking, if you look at your portfolio, in my mind, it would be a logical thing to cutting, depending again on the amount of profits. Normally, when working for various companies still, statistically we found that most people, when actually in proper profit, anything that crosses the kind of the lower edge of percentile, if we're talking about the 5 to roughly maybe 10, most people were basically 3 times up on their money, 3 times 300% on their money. And so it would be a really good idea to cut a third, which in other words basically take out your original investment. This is a method I myself developed over the years. Of course, every other account manager had this sort of his own approach to things. Me and some of my peers, we chose to go with I personally came up with the idea of the 30%. It makes sense because it does multiple things for you. it frees up. First of all, when you take out this original investment, which is that third, right? Because you're up 3 times. So basically, what you do, you're at ease. You have nothing to risk. If you imagine the circumstances situation off of the side as a third party observer, you'll realize again, everything that you put on the table when you started is completely out and safe. At the same time, you already have twice that amount already in your portfolio and available to be worked with. So even if it goes to complete nut or zero, you don't care. You're still doing phenomenally well, right? No one expects it to go to zero anyways. More so, don't forget that that dry gunpowder that you just sort of set aside will be available for you when the prices are low, and so you can buy literally, of course, depending on the level of the drop. If the drop is 5 times lower, then you can buy pretty much the 5 times the amount of shares using that very exact amount of money, having a far better average, right? And of course, a significant higher amount of shares. So the next impulse will be for you that much more yielding. In fact, you'll be multiplying your money by 5, 6, 7 times, depending on how well you've done this whole process. Or again, depends how well you've repeated it and how many times you have, right? But the potential is actually pretty high. But then again, what you need to do in that instance is not to overstay your welcome. You need to be able to identify when the cycles happen, get out, right, and rebuy the bottom. And so that third idea, the beautiful part, the most important part of it is that we found that the people who actually took that idea and ran with it, or something similar at least. Of course, it doesn't have to be an exact third, and it doesn't have to be 33% of your of that liquidity that you have in the market. Really, you can adjust it, of course, but still within the vicinity. And what happens in the performance of these who took out these 30% using the rest of the 66 if you want to, right, was so much better, right? So again, what the idea here is very, very simple. So you get a far more stable and mentally not draining and easier process for yourself, right? So you literally are far more calculated with the rest of the money, and you have a far better average. Within a couple of cycles, you end up overtaking anybody who's just long term and keep on piling with their own hard-earned cash. Instead, you make your money work for you, and you're far more at ease because you know that you have what you've invested in the first place sitting on the side. And worst case scenario, even if what you still have left in the market just goes to utter zero, guess what? You're totally fine with it, right? So that's again, it's not just that it removes your risk tolerance off of the table altogether, but it adjusts it. So now your risk tolerance, because there is still risk on the table, you still have that ROI that you're using for it, right? That original return on investment. But originally you were operating under the assumption that what if I'm gonna make a mistake and risk all that money that I worked for all this time? So what did I do and spend all this time for? So by doing that, you're already securing that this period of time was not wasted on anything, that was actually a yielding productive period of time. So there are so many benefits that allow you then to perform later down the line with that remaining ROI so much better if you think about it. Subsequently, you'll probably more gonna it's far more reliable to expect that you're gonna result with good returns and not lose more, simply because your mind is at ease and you're not worried. There is no anxiety. You're not, there is no time pressure. Like, all these factors are completely gone. You're able to focus on the analysis, truly what the market gives you, and just perform based upon what the market gives and not what your anxiety or pressure, financial, limitations dictate, right? Because you don't have them in that scenario. Pretty simple. Pum, 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 pum. Let's go back, I guess, take another final real quick look-see with the market, what's going on. As you can see, not a lot. Since we've been down so significantly, we're having another tiny movement to the upside, closing towards that median, I would say. It does seem like we're already hugging the ceiling here and running out of momentum, so I'm not going to be surprised if we're not really going to make it. Although, not surprised, 5 minutes does indicate that we can. So this is still on the table since we still have 20 minutes to go. And we can look here at potentially, so that's 2 candlesticks. So it's probably unlikely that we're going to end up at that 5200 as I've predicted, although a final little impulse at the end could happen. But currently, what I'm expecting is we're probably going to get stuck roughly around that 52.42, 50, whatever kind of thing. 52.44, if you will. Basically, the vicinity of the median of the larger channel. And to put it more precisely, although again, since we still have what I would call 3 candlesticks from here on out, right? Because we have that one that's closed in 3 minutes, then another one right next to this entangled with this very median, another one entangled, and maybe final one little last candlestick, just kind of, the last 5 minutes as a breakdown, but I wouldn't rely on it based upon this momentum on the 5 minutes. This momentum on the 30 minutes, because again, overturning to the bullish side, so that kind of makes sense. We're hugging the bottom of the channel, at least we're testing it. So if anything, we should rely on more bearish pressure tomorrow. At the moment, it doesn't seem like we have any bullish momentum left for real. It's just a little bit of fume in the pipes, if you will, right? 9 people still need to smash the button. Yeah, I agree. All of the people need to smash the like button. Those who don't want to smash the like button can go away. We don't need them here anyways, right? Right. It's their loss. All right, so I think this is all for today. Of course, we can kind of go over the individual assets, but there's not much to say. Maybe the only one that's slightly disappointing, I was slightly off on, is KTOS, as Kratos actually pushing back up to that 33, although it doesn't really matter to me. Of course, there's a tiny little wave. Maybe we would have been able to make a couple of thousand on it, but it's not a big deal. I'm more so waiting for KTOS or Kratos to break down towards that 22 area. Once it does, then I'm going to start picking it up, And of course, I still have my plug position, which is doing horribly bad. Completely broke off of our low handle. Everybody's like, that's it, And before you completely panic, I'll just show you one little cute thing. So just for you to know that, although not pleasant, although not exactly normal, but within the framework of these impulses, we kind of sadly do these sort of things. Not always, so shouldn't be relied upon. As you can see, our actual support level, these are more so slippage areas. Our actual support level is around the $2. So all this does for me, it presents another opportunity to buy at a lower price. As you can see, we're already hugging the bottom, probably going to start picking back up towards the $2. So instead of being dumb and then saying, I should have bought, I'll just buy a little. I'm probably not going to do it today. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow. We'll see. But overall, sooner or later, this will start picking back up. And I want to be ready and not miss out on the opportunity. Now, of course, you do you, as I'm not responsible for your profits. I'm not responsible. I don't gain from your profits. You know what? I'm not responsible for your losses. Again, it's not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Does not mean you should be doing the same. In fact, don't do what I'm doing. There you go. Now, bullish momentum right now is like little peepees. That was a trap. That was a trap, sir. Absolutely, it is. Pisa Kamushkin, yes. Trump said no more tariffs, and he will is good with China, Russia, and Iran. And the market can change again. Next level, absolutely. You only forgot to mention how Santa Claus will arrive, the Easter Bunny with Santa Claus, and that all will happen while Superman will land in my town. And also, don't forget that there will be a Godzilla in Hawaii, right? And a big Cthulhu kind of thing going on in Antarctica. So when all that happens and pigs fly and cows swim, we can talk about what you just said. Okay? Cool. So until then, very unlikely. No, I mean, right. Greg doesn't believe in the new impact market. It's not that I don't believe in that. It's that I know they can misdirect the market for a short period of time, which we consider months to be short in the market. The market is this sort of entity that does not care about our, measly life length, and market is there to stay, and it doesn't see things through the lens of how we see things with our retirement plan, our kids. It's like George Carlin said that sort of mentioning your brother who needs an operation on his crotch or something like that. The market doesn't care, right? So market doesn't know who you are, doesn't care about your retirement plan, doesn't care about what sort of car you want to buy. Don't care. Market's going to do what market's going to do. This is why we like technicals, as you yourself mentioned today in your beautifully written comment in the Discord. You beautiful, sexy YouTube mother lover. What would I do without members like you? Now, which again, this is the narrative we've been talking about all along. We knew this sort of price action will be coming, and this is the whole idea of I told you and what's next. What's next is it's going to get worse, basically. If you did not understand it from this video yet, it's going to get worse. Market doesn't care about me. That's why I want it all to fall down. That's my eligible key position. I wonder. I swear I wouldn't mind either. I mean, we had a killing, but then again, we knew about these levels. It wouldn't have been necessarily a smart idea to be, doing this train hopping thing that we say. It's usually a very bad idea. Results in being stuck outside the train in the wrong time. Those who were smart enough just abused and used this opportunity to buy more at a lower price, so they'll have a better average and subsequently come back to their profits quicker. And will result in better profits in the long run as well, just like myself. Alrighty, I think that is it. There's not much to say really. The market is moving in exactly sort of the direction we expected. We still know we're hugging that median, just like I was saying earlier. We still, in my mind, can maybe slip and slide towards 5,200. Given this range, it will not require too much. It's just a little tiny little impulse that happens once the market sort of deteriorates after testing this, just like you see, as we said, so far so good, and it's starting, you see, and it's kind of moving within that direction, and actually, as predicted, can end up here, although, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Within the framework of these ranges, it's all the same in my mind, right? All the same, doesn't matter whether it ends here, or here, it's all the same. Right, Greg Whitehouse announced Trump speaks at 4:30 p.m. EDT today. Get your ready. You crazy man. Man, I'm so goddamn tired. I have another session to do beyond the hangout. This man is draining me. I have no idea how he the hell has so much energy to deal with everything he does. This man and his actions are draining me to death. Alrighty, so I think that is it for today. Not gonna hold you off any longer. I just simply don't have anything too important to say. I think I'll see the community members in the Discord. We'll probably do a really cool hangout. Again, I'll remind you, join the Patreon so you can join the Discord and always be up to speed. Definitely inquire and ask about the One-on-One Academy, because these spots are pretty rare and get, taken by the members usually like hotcakes. And as you notice, already one gone. Only 2 left, and the longer you wait, the less time frames available slots you'll have for you, and less convenience probably. Just have to kind of go with what I have. That, by the way, is exactly what I teach. There is exactly the skill set, not just what you see here on the lives, but a lot more, far more advanced tools that do allow you to predict the market as accurately as you see me doing on a consistent basis, right? Remember, none of this is financial advice. I'll see you in the community on Discord. You all have a wonderful evening, beautiful YouTube mother lovers. Bye-bye.